This cost me, or will cost me, about £3,000 a year. £3,000. And there's a moment where I genuinely thought, what am I doing? Because that's not a small number, is it? That's a really good holiday. That's a lot of money in savings. That's a new sofa and decorating the house. But I've had to make a choice. Health or wealth. Hello, I'm Manda's Midlife, and I've been on this medicated weight loss journey for 8 months now, losing over 70 pounds. This channel will show you all the highs, all the lows, and then everything in between. If it's good, you get to know about it. If it's bad, you get to know about it. If it's going well, you get to know about it. So I inject 7.5 milligrams in my belly every single Sunday without fail. And this is an open, honest and frank assessment of my journey. Today we're going to be talking about the cost of these weight loss medications and the honest conversations I've had to have with myself, whether it's actually worth the cost. So we're talking approximately £3,000 a year for this medication. Now that's not loose change, that's not just kicking about at the bottom of a drawer somewhere, and that's serious money and commitment over time. £3,000 is a holiday, £3,000 in investments, £3,000 I could put into my pension to top it up, and £3,000 every year soon adds up. And over 5 years, what's that, £15,000? That's a lot of money, isn't it? A lot of money. Now, I've always tried to be sensible when it comes to money, and my thoughts are you can't just throw money at problems. And I'm at the age, I'm 53 now, when I'm looking ahead, I can see the light at the end of my working life, and this is the time of life when you're supposed to be tightening your belt and looking to the future and getting prepared for the fun times they called retirement. This creates a lot of internal doubt using this medication. Am I being impulsive? Is this a shortcut? Am I outsourcing my discipline? Or should I just do it naturally? And when I say do it naturally, do I mean it's just my ego saying I should be able to fix this without paying £3,000 a year? Am I now paying for a weakness, a little chink in my armour? Am I indulging myself? Is it indulgent? Now, when I was 30, and probably when I was 40, I would have chosen wealth. Because when you're that age, you don't care. You're not worried about it. Your health's always going to be good. Your health's always going to be fine. You need to worry about your health when you're older, when you're in your 50s, when you're in your 60s. When I was in my 30s, it would have been, you just need to work harder, you just need to earn more money. And 100% I would have chosen the wealth option. But in my head, the health voice is screaming louder than the wealth voice is at the moment. Now, when I started this journey, I was 22 stone 11. I will put that in pounds, and I will put it in kilos. I wasn't just overweight, I was a sweaty, exhausted, uncomfortable, joints aching. I was a state, I was a mess. My quality of life wasn't amazing. I was still fairly active, I still work full time, but I'd walk up a hill and I'd be out of puff. My joints were aching, my clothes were too tight, I couldn't get clothes to fit. I hated having my photo taken. I'd go for a night out, I'd look at myself in the mirror before I went out, and I would look at that person and think, I don't like that person anymore. It's not nice, it's uncomfortable, it's unattractive, and there's no confidence there. And then there's the food noise, the constant background chatter of food. Always thinking about the next meal, eating my lunch at 10 o'clock in the morning, then buying a lunch, then buying something in the afternoon before I got home for dinner. Always negotiating with myself, I'm going to start again Monday. I won't have, we'll start again Monday. We'll eat that, it's fine. You've ruined the week now, start again Monday. Even though it was only Tuesday when I was aborting the whole week. And then you've got the mental side of it, the guilt after eating, the shame, the feeling stuck, watching the years go by. And I'm sat here knowing things aren't getting better. I'm losing weight, I'm putting it back on. I'm losing weight, I'm putting it back on. I'm binge restrict. Constant mental trauma. But then you get that midlife realization This isn't going to be cosmetic anymore. This is going to be blood pressure problems. This is going to be heart health problems. This is going to be joint issues. This is going to be a severe lack of longevity with my life and my future mobility. And then you reach that turning point where you say, I don't want to be the man who says, I wish I'd sorted that. I didn't want to look back in 10 years' time and regret choosing money over health, because for me at my age, time matters more than it does when I was 30. It matters more than when I was 40. And it's at that point when you've got to choose health over wealth. Because what I can do is I can earn more money. What I can't do is rewind the clock on my body. So the resolution for me has got to be that wealth voice wasn't crazy. It wasn't silly talk in my head. Because £3,000 a year is a lot of money. It's serious money, isn't it? It's serious money for anyone. And being financially responsible matters, but midlife security and health matters more, and it matters more for me personally. And to be honest, health isn't necessarily separate from wealth anyway, because poor health is going to cost me long term with the joint issues, the fatigue, the medication costs, the loss of productivity and the loss of confidence. And I wasn't really choosing between health and wealth. I was choosing between short-term money and long-term quality of life. And they're not the same thing, are they? How long can I afford this for? Will I be on this medication forever? Because that's a huge commitment financially. What happens when I get to maintenance? Apart from it's going to be crazy interesting, what if the costs rise again like they did in the UK in September? It's a really, really tricky situation to be in for any of us on this weight loss journey, isn't it? But the way I've got to deal with it, the way Man Does Midlife personally deals with it in his head, to allow myself to spend that kind of money on a medication every single month, is to look at it as I'm investing in myself, and I'm hoping it's not necessarily going to be a forever expense, and I'm going to use it as a leverage and hopefully not turn it into a dependency. But there's always the risk that is going to be the outcome, isn't it? And then I could find myself spending this money in 5 years' time still, or in 10 years' time still. And that is the unknown, isn't it? And that is the commitment we make when we start taking this medication. And just to reiterate, when I was younger, I would have chose wealth. But now I've got to choose health, and I've got to make that investment. I've got to make that commitment. And the proof is there that this medication's worked for me. And I feel healthier, I feel more confident, my joints ache less, I can walk up hills without being a sweaty mess, without being out of puff. So the realisation that I can't rewind my body, I can't renew my body, but I can do whatever I can to make the best of the situation, make life easier for me, make myself more mobile. And for me, that far outweighs the cost involved in this medication. So for me, it's no longer an emotional decision, it's a calculated one. And if I'm going to do this properly, I'm going to do it with a provider I trust. And that's why I chose to go with Bolt. So I've been using Bolt for a little while now. The process is as simple, it's clear communication. They deliver it when they say they're going to deliver it. And they're now offering you lot a £30 discount off the first order. And I'll leave the link for that in the description if you're considering it. And before anyone dives in on the comments and says, you're lucky you can afford it, I know I'm in a privileged position where I can afford to pay for this medication, but I refuse to feel that guilt. And you've got to be the same. And if you are feeling that guilt about spending the money, you're questioning whether it's selfish or irresponsible or self-indulgent, stop looking at it as a cost and look at it as an investment. We invest in houses, we invest in pensions, we invest in our kids, but for some reason we hesitate to invest in our own health. And that's just plain crazy to me. I just want to finish this by saying thanks ever so much for watching this video. If you could like it, that would be absolutely amazing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, then please do. There's a lot of you that watch the videos that haven't subscribed, and you'd be helping me out massively if you could do that. If you've got a question for my Q&A video, which I release every Saturday, leave it down below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer your question on a Saturday video. So just to summarise everything, I can earn more money, but I can't rewind my body. And that is the big takeaway from this video. I'll leave a few of my other videos on the screen for you now, if you fancy having a browse through them. It follows my journey all the way from where we are now in month 8, all the way back to the beginning. And this channel is all about sharing the knowledge and the lessons I've learned on this journey. Some of them have been good, some of them have been bad, and it's all about sharing that knowledge with you. I'm not a medical professional, I've never liked to be a medical professional, but thanks again for watching, appreciate you all, and I will be back on Saturday with a Q&A and weekly update video. But for now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your week.